Okay, hi guys, welcome back to Audio Levels channel. Welcome back to another review, and today we're taking a look at something a little bit special. This is the ThieAudio Prestige, the new flagship earphone from ThieAudio, makers of insanely good value earphones. ThieAudio, for those that don't know, are the house brand of Linso, and price for price, like $500, $300, $400, they have something competitive, and usually it punches well above their weight. And I'm going to talk about that in the summary and comparisons to other earphones. If you're new to the channel, this is what we do. We review earphones, headphones, high-end, hi-fi stuff. Go ahead and subscribe if you're in for more of that, and give a like if you do like this video. Now, ThieAudio Prestige is a tribrid like many of the other popular earphones just now, which means there's 3 driver technologies inside. In the case of this one, you're getting 1 dynamic driver, 4 balanced armatures, and 4 electrostatic drivers, set up in a way that you're getting the best of all worlds. So a dynamic driver, famous for creating that quantity of bass and moving that quantity of air through your ear canal. Balanced armature is very responsive in the mid-range, and electrostatics typically very good for high-end note reproduction. You can see the design on the outside of the box is very nice. ThieAudio do it very well, and let's go ahead and unbox it while I'm talking. Now, of course, all these earphones are reviewed beforehand and then everything reboxed by my photographer, and so everything might not be exactly as it comes in the box. I just want to make that caveat. It might be a little bit like loose and stuff, but the presentation in general is very good, but it's very similar to other earphones in the ThieAudio range. You don't get much difference in the cases once you get to $500. And what I did like was, and we'll talk about it in great depth once I get it all out, was the cable on this earphone. Now, I'll put that to one side. This is the standard carry case. It's a generic carry case, nothing special. Has room for maybe a small DAP and and your earphones in it at the same time, plus some accessories behind this little wire pouch. You get some decent ear tips, you get some foamies, you get some silicones. I went ahead and pretty much straight away switched to my Asla Zendafit tips, which I think are the best tips that you can buy right now. Amazingly grippy and very comfortable ear tips. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. And this is part of the cable, so I want to talk about this first. The cable here, now usually I'm not a fan of twist cables, I prefer braid cable. I just find that twist cables retain a little bit more memory in practice, and you can definitely see that here. There's little kinks here and there. But it is a very meaty and girthy cable. That's terrible. It's very well made. It feels very premium. It is Litz construction with silver copper. It is 4-band twist going into dual twist after the splitter. It's a little bit microphonic, but it's just very nicely made. And the best thing going on here is the interconnection system, which we're going to see. You just kind of spin it until it lines up, and then it clicks into place. And what this does is it allows you to switch between balanced connectors, standard connectors, 2.5mm balance, 4.4mm balance, and a 3.5mm standard jack there. So if you do have an external DAP or something, DAP DAC, that you want to use the balanced connectors on and drive them, and they do require a fair bit of power, these earphones. It's good that it's all included in the box. Now, as good as the cable is, and it is very nice and it matches very well, I still prefer the corded cable that's included on the Monarch Mark II. That can be purchased separately from Linso themselves. Is it worth an upgrade? No, really no, because this is very good on its own. It performs really well. It feels really nice. It's got a little bit of microphonics, but not too bad. If there's only one criticism, it's this. When you look at the earphones, the plugs are actually designed to be used in conjunction with a recessed 2-pin connector. This is a 2-pin connector for those of you that are unfamiliar, and what you get on some earphones is a recess, like a rectangle that's cut out, where this piece here, you can see this rectangle, would slot inside the shell, and what that does is offers a little bit more protection from moisture ingress and stuff. For me, it's weird, and a lot of companies do this. They include these connectors on flush mounted 2-pins. This is a flush mount because you can see that there's no recess there. It's just a little weird. It doesn't affect the earphones at all, but I just think it's a tiny little bit weird looking. Anyway, let's get into the earphones and the construction. Put these out of the way. Now, in terms of accessories, guys, it's not a lot of stuff. It's just quite well done. Nice cable. You can see it wraps up beautifully. It's a very nice cable. It's decent ear tips, and it's a pretty average carry case, to be honest. There's nothing that screams to me spectacular premium $1,000+ like some of the other earphones in the market. What is very, very nice though is this body. This body is based on apparently the B16 Divinity. Excuse me. And it is a medical grade resin housing, 2-pin connector there, base or a ventilation port for the dynamic driver, I'm assuming. Metal nozzles, which is preferred to the resin being continued on, just because if you drop it, the metal gives a little bit more protection and sturdiness. And then you get this stunning faceplate design on the outside here, and it looks like a little galaxy design, I guess. Size wise, they're sort of medium large, so medium and large ears only. Small ears are not going to work with these earphones at all. They look similar to the $500 earphones like the Clairvoyance, the Excalibur, etc., the original Monarchs. They don't look anything different, but what is different is the configuration on the inside. And when we're talking about that, we're going to have to talk about the sound. Now, the sound on this one, guys, this is phenomenal. And I want to explain to you why it's phenomenal. It's V-shaped. Back when, not when I started the hobby, but when I really started to get into it, maybe 2003, 2004, 2005-ish, or maybe it was later than that, VSonic were popular, and they were very flat. Everybody was looking for this sort of flat response, you know, automatic ER4s, that sort of stuff. But there was one earphone that sounded amazingly fun, and it was the Ultimate Ears Triple Phi. The Triple Phi was super popular but horribly awkward to wear, and it had an amazing like V-shaped signature. And for a while, V-shape was very popular until the hobby started to grow, and I feel like that was sort of lost a little bit. I can't think recently of any real standout constructive V-shaped earphones, really. IER, which I have, are probably in the same vein of the Triple Pis with that energetic, fun sound. There's a few other ones that come close, but not specifically V-shaped. Now, you get the Monarch in the range, or the Monarch Mark II, was an earphone that when it came out it had a very good strong mid-range that you could hear very good mids, but it also had an enhanced bass, which made it sound very good, but it doesn't have the same effect of that recess in the mids. This is an energetic, fun sounding earphone, something that just pumps through music. If you're listening to rap, EDM, hip hop, anything like that, it is absolutely spectacularly engaging, fun, boom. It really gets you going, because in addition, with the big sub bass on it, you have excellent mid bass, but you have this extended treble which is very airy and carries over into the presentation of the soundstage. The soundstage is quite big on this, not IER big, because it's treble induced, what I call treble induced soundstage. Treble induced soundstage is where the treble is so prominent it almost sounds like there's more air. I call it almost artificial soundstage, as opposed to an earphone that just sounds like very spaced and grand, like the IER, as I mentioned, or as if you were listening to a Grado headphones where it's open back in design. This has more of that treble focused soundstage presentation, but it sounds very, very big. The mid-range is something that we should talk about, because I've gone on and on and on about this. When people get a V-shaped earphone nowadays, they dismiss it because they're like, oh, I can't hear the mids are no good, blah, blah, blah. Mids being recessed by design are not the same as bad mids. When you create a V-shaped earphone, you're creating a specific profile and a specific tuning that you're trying to recreate. When somebody talks about the mids being bad, that means bad mids. That means bad performance, unclear, muddy, etc., etc. That's not the case here. The mids on this are super clean. Super clean, and it's there. If you remove everything else out via EQ, like you take the bass away and you take the treble and you leave yourself with the mids and you just focus in on the mids, the mid-range is excellent. It's just that it's not got that same bump in comparison with the bass and the treble. So don't be talking about like, oh, the mids, but the mids might not be to your tuning, but the mids are excellent quality mids, and that's indicative of the drivers that they're using. They're using good quality drivers in here. In terms of how does that make it sound, well, it's not something I'm going to listen to a lot of mids prominent music, like let's say Rodrigo y Gabriela, which is acoustic guitar. I'm not going to listen to that on these earphones. This is more something for somebody that listens to a lot of modern music. Maybe you want to listen to metal, hip hop, EDM, that sort of stuff. Classical, not so much. I prefer more of a balance on that. But definitely the soundstage adds a unique quality to the appearance of treble on this. Jazz, as long as there's not too much vocals on it, would sound very good. In fact, not jazz as such, but I was listening to Masego, and that sounded absolutely fantastic, and that was with his vocals running across the top of it. I didn't think, even though it was male vocals, I thought I would have been wanting a little bit more weight into it, but I found that I don't know, the bass line was just so perfect on it that it actually sounded really good with his vocals just underneath. They're an energetic, fun earphone, so I think it's best to talk in them, in terms of price, in terms of competition. So $1,300 I think is the retail price on these, and that's going to be a lot of money for a lot of people. So that firmly puts it into what we would consider endgame territory earphone. Is it endgame worthy? Absolutely. I think of this as what I would call a baby, let me just adjust the camera, a baby IER1ZR. I have both, just for the record. I have the Mist, what else do I have? The Monarch, Campfire Audios, Campfire Audio Solaris 2020, Campfire Audio Solaris 20 original. I would say the tuning is more like a premium Campfire Audio Solaris 2020, except like less of the mid-range on it, but that sort of grandeur of the presentation is there. I'm really going to compare it to the IER1ZR because I think that is its closest competitor. It is something very, very close to it, and that necessarily doesn't mean better or worse. To explain myself there, you need to understand how I feel about earphones. My favorite earphones are $500. It's just the way it is. The ones I listen to most, the ones that I think are the best sounding, the ones that gel with me most are $500. I think they're better than anything like Tia's, Nobles, whatever you want to throw at it with insane price points. So to me, value is sort of all over the place at this point, because it's very hard for companies in this marketplace to make bad sounding earphones. This sounds so damn close to an IER1ZR that I don't think it's really worth the extra money for the IERs. Now I have the IERs, I can afford the IER, so I buy it. But am I stupid? Probably, because the price difference on that, I think if you can get the IERs around about 1,800, 1,700, you're talking almost 25% more for the IERs over this, and you really, guys, you're getting very, very little. If anything, I would say it's not something you're going to hear as a difference. It's you're going to you're going to hear it as a difference, but it's not necessarily good or bad. Both have positives, both have negatives. Definitely these are better fitting and more comfortable to use than the IERs. Versus the Mest. The Mest are another absolutely incredible earphone, like really, really top draw earphone. So I think we're really getting at this point where choose based on the tuning that you think is going to suit you. If you're looking for a bit of a V shape, try these. If you're looking for something flatter, Campfire Audio, Andromedas, things like that are still very good. But you're now at this level where 1,000 and up is pretty much a very competitive price point, and I don't really consider this is X better than this. It's not. It's so fractionally minimal, and anybody pretending that it's not unbelievably fractionally minimal is talking out their backside at this point. It might be down to your tuning preferences, but in terms of capability and technical performances and being what the designers are choosing them to be, I mean, it can come down to regional preferences. Like an earphone is tuned for a certain marketplace like Asia or the United States or something like that. It could be tuned to suit a specific type of music. You just don't know. But you can find that situation where it's very, very good. So with this, for EDM, the Prestige is absolute bangers. Go and listen to some Infected Mushroom with this, 2 feet, things like that. Absolute banging earphones. Worth the price? Definitely. In the marketplace, worth the price. When we look at we're now spending $1,300 in earphones, we're mental at this point. But worth the price in terms of the competition, where the competition's at, yeah, definitely. Any negative points? No. Again, like mid-range, like vocal performance is not as prominent. Now the vocals are very clean and very clear. But does that make the vocals bad? For certain types of music, yes, I guess, but that doesn't. That's again against the point that I was just talking about, where that's a tuning preference. That's not, it was designed to be that way. It wasn't. Isn't a flaw. It isn't a characteristic that's bad on it. It's just something different. So. Great earphones I've got coming up. I've got an absolute ton of earphones. I've got 15 earphone reviews coming out in the next 15 days, hopefully. So please go ahead and subscribe for that, and I'll try and keep them a little bit shorter. I'm sorry about this. I'm getting back into it after Christmas. Got COVID again for the 3rd time, so that was fun, and I'll be back to videos all this week. So thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.